Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead. Time.
श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन, यमुना तेरा बनचारी, यमुना तेरा बनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी समस्तदे पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। So today we are going to discuss from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य
अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
Now you can read Mataji or Prabhuji's.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
Yada yada hi dharmasya
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य
अभ्युत्थानम्
अभ्युदानं
अधर्मस्य
धर्मस्य
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
तदात्मानं
आत्मानं
सृजाम्यहम्।
य- यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
यदा
यदा
यदा हि
यदा हि
धर्मस्य
धर्मस्य
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति
ग्लानिर्भवति
भारत
भारत
अद्भुत्यानाम धर्मस्य
अभ्युत्थानस्य
अभ्युत्थानामधर्मस्य
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
तदात्मानं
तदात्मानं
सृजाम्यहम्.
सृजाम्यहम्।
So, if no one is there to chant, then we can start. Word by word meaning. Yada yada.
यदा यदा
Whenever and wherever.
Whenever
whenever
and
and wherever
wherever
He certainly.
he
certainly
certainly
Dharmasya of religion.
dharmasya
dharmasya
of
of
religion,
religion,
Glani discrepancies.
glani
glani
discrepancies,
discrepancies,
Bhavati become manifestes. Become
bhavati
manifestes.
become
become
manifest.
manifested.
Good. Yeah. Bharata, O descendant of Bharata.
Bharata, or
Bharata,
descendant
or
of Bharata,
descendant of Bharata,
Abhyuthanam predominance.
abhyuthanam predominance,
predominance,
Adharmasya of irreligion.
adharmasya of
dharmasya of
irreligion,
religion,
Tada at that time.
tada
tada
at that
that
time,
Atmanam self.
atmanam
atmanam
self,
self,
Srijami manifest.
srijami
srijami manifest,
Aham I.
aham I.
So now I will read translation. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in a religion, at that time I descend myself. One more time. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So now we will read purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Prabhupada here explains this verse. The word Srijami is significant herein. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation because according to the previous verse that we discussed yesterday, there is no creation of the Lord's form or body. Since all of the forms are eternally existent, therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of the Dwapar Yuga of the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu in one day of Brahma. He has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because he is completely free from, he is completely free to act in many ways at his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and a disappearance of the true religion. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of the Vedas makes one irreligious. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that such principles are the laws of the Lord. Only the Lord can manufacture a system of religion. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord himself to Brahmaji from within his heart. Therefore, the principles of dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In our scriptures, it is said, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. So whatever comes from Bhagavan's mouth is dharma. Whatever is spoken by Bhagavan is dharma. These principles are certainly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of the Vedas is to establish such principles under the order of the Supreme Lord. When the Lord directly orders at the end of the Gita that the highest principle of religion is to surrender unto him only and nothing more. That is what Bhagavan Krishna orders at the end of the Gita. The Vedic principles push one towards complete surrender unto him. And whenever such principles are disturbed by the demoniac, the Lord appears. From the Bhagavatam, we understand that Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Krishna, who appeared when materialism was rampant and the materialists were using the pretext of the authority of the Vedas. Although there are certain restrictive rules and regulations regarding animal sacrifice for the particular purpose in the Vedas, people of demoniac tendency still took to animal sacrifice without reference to the Vedic principles. Lord Buddha appeared in order to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. Therefore, each and every avatara or incarnation of the Lord has a particular mission, and they are all described in the revealed scriptures. No one should be accepted as an avatara unless he is referred to by scriptures. It is not a fact that the Lord appears only on Indian soil. He can manifest himself anywhere and everywhere, and whenever he desires to appear. In each and every incarnation, he speaks as much about religion as can be understood by the particular people under their particular circumstances. But the mission is the same: to lead people to God consciousness and obedience to the principles of religion. Sometimes he descends personally, and sometimes he sends his bona fide representative in the form of his son or servant, or himself in some disguised form. The principles of Bhagavad Gita were spoken to Arjun and, for that matter, to other highly elevated persons, because he was highly advanced compared to ordinary persons in other parts of the world. 2 plus 2 equals 4 in a mathematical principle. That is true in the beginner's arithmetic class and in the advanced class as well. Still, there are higher and lower mathematics. In all incarnations of the Lord, therefore, the same principles are taught, but they appear to be higher and lower in varied circumstances. The higher principles of religion begin with the acceptance of the 4 orders and the 4 statuses of the social life, as will be explained later in Bhagavad Gita. The whole purpose of the mission of the incarnation is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. Such consciousness is manifest and non-manifest only under different circumstances. So let's discuss this point by point here. Prabhupada said here, the word Srijami is significant here. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation, because Bhagavan Krishna here says, Abhyutthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srijami aham. So I srijami, I descend. Because according to the previous verse, there is no creation of the Lord's form or body, since all the forms are eternally existent. So this is evident from the Brahma Samhita, where Brahmaji describes a spiritual world and how everyone is eternally situated. Like there is a Golok Vrindavan on the topmost floor, and then there is a Mathura and Dwarika, and then Ajodhya is there, and then beneath that Kailas is there. So everything is there in Vaikuntha, as we saw in Brahma Samhita poster, and that we discussed several times. So in previous verse, Prabhupada is saying that we discussed yesterday, that ajopi sanna abhyatma bhutanami swarupi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atmamaya. So Bhagavan Krishna here said that although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear, Sambhavami, in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So it's clear from this verse that there is no creation of the Lord form or body, because Bhagavan Ji is eternally existent. He is eternally situated in the Vaikuntha, in the spiritual planet. And these material planets are bubble inside the spiritual planets. So it is explained by Prabhupada that only 1 portion is material world and 3 portion is spiritual world. We call Tripad Vibhuti. And he showed in the first canto cover of the Bhagavatam that everywhere there is a spiritual word, and in between spiritual word there are bubbles, and in those bubbles Krishna created material words. So in that way, we can understand that everything already is manifested by Lord Krishna in the spiritual world, and all his forms are there. So therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. So he doesn't make any other forms. Whatever the form he has, he comes here down. Like he comes as Buddha, Bhagavan, Buddha. He comes as he will come as a Kalki. There is a Kalki there in the spiritual world. He comes as he came as Lord Rama. There is a Ajodhya there in the spiritual world. He comes as Matsya, Kurma, Baraha, Parasuram, Nrsimha. All the forms are there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mataji mentioned one, there is a Loka for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So he doesn't make any form. He comes in his original form. So he said here, Sambhava Tadat Manam Srijamyam. I descend myself. So although Lord appears on his schedule, so there are schedules when Bhagavan Krishna appears, or his other representative or other Vishnu Tattva comes in this material world, like Lord Rama, Parasurama, and others, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although the Lord appears on his schedule, namely at the end of Dwapar Yuga of the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu in one day of Brahma. So this is here Prabhupada explains, when Bhagavan Krishna appears, he comes at the end of Dwapar Yuga, before Kali Yuga, and in the 28th millennium of 7th Manu. In the 7th Manu, in one day of Brahma. So we discussed several times our Vedic time is cyclic. So Brahmaji's 1 day is equal to 1,000 times 4 yugas. So we know there are 4 yugas: Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. We are in the 4th one, Kali Yuga. There are 3 millenniums already gone, and Bhagavan Krishna appeared in the Dwapar Yuga, and we are in Kali Yuga. So at the end of Dwapar Yuga, beginning of the Kali Yuga. So, and he appeared in the 7th Manu. So currently we are in the kingdom of 7th Manu. So in one day of Brahma, there are 1,000 cycles of 4 yuga. So 4 yuga, 1 cycle, 4 yuga, 1,000 times. That time is equal to 1 day of Brahma. That is 12 hours of Brahmaji. And the same is his night. So after Brahmaji is going to sleep, everything is going to disappear. All creation is going to disappear except this planetary system. All creatures. And when Brahmaji will wake up in the next day of his time, he will again start creation. And in one day of Brahmaji, there are 14 Manu appears. 10 and 4, 14. 1 and 4, 14. And we are in the 7th Manu period here. You see, 7th Manu period. That tells that half of the Brahmaji's day is over. So in the 7th Manu, there will be another 7 Manu will come in future, and then Brahmaji's night will come. And then in one, so you can imagine, you can divide equally 1,000 times Yuga cycle divided by 14. That will be 72 and some more Yuga. 72 cycle of 4 Yuga, that is the kingdom time period of 1 Manu. And in that 72 Yuga cycle, Krishna comes in 28th Yuga cycle at the end of Dwapar Yuga. So we are very lucky that we are so closer in time as compared to his incarnation. He's not going to come in near future. In the seventh Manu will go on, and then the next seventh Manu will come, and then Krishna will come. Of course, his other incarnation will be here. So he has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because he is completely free to act in many ways at his will. So this we discuss very often in Bhagavad Gita classes, that Krishna is free, Krishna is independent, and we also have minute independence. But Krishna has full independence. So he has no obligation to adhere with this, but whatever the rules he made, whatever the promise he made, he keeps all the promises. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is predominance in irreligiosity and disturbance of true religion. That's what Krishna is saying here. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijami. Whenever there is predominance of irreligiosity and a disappearance of true religion, Krishna comes. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas. Veda describes all the principles of religions, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of Vedas makes one irreligious. So we have to be religious. We have to follow principles of religion. If we don't follow, then we become irreligious. If we don't follow Vedas, because Veda teaches religiosity, then we become irreligious. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that such principles are laws of the Lord. So, and only the Lord can manufacture system of religions. So that's what Krishna teaches in Gita, that whatever he says is religion. He says to become bhakta, to do this, to do that, to understand who we are, what is our constitutional position. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord himself to Brahmaji. That's what we know. Bhagavan Krishna spoke to Brahmaji, and he gave all the knowledge of Vedas within the heart of Brahmaji. In Bhagavatam, it is described, Tene Brahma Heda, Tene Brahma Heda Yadi Kavaya Muhyanti Yat Surya. So, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaya. So, Brahmaji got his knowledge in his heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaya. That's what Prabhupada said here. From within his heart. So, Lord Krishna transferred all the Vedic knowledge in the heart of Brahmaji. When Brahmaji did tapasya, after he was appeared, he was created manifested by Bhagavan Krishna in the form of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So from Krishna comes Vishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and then from the novel portion of novel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, lotus flower appears, and then on the flower, lotus flower, Brahmaji appears. And then he wonders, who am I? And then he did tapasya. He heard tapasabd. And then Lord Krishna imparted all the Vedic knowledge in his heart. He gave all the principles of creations and instruction. So therefore, the principles of dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Also in scriptures, it is said, Dharmam tu sachat bhagavat pranitam. This is the definition of dharma, that whatever comes from the mouth of Bhagavan is called dharma. Dharmam tu sachat. Sachat is as it is. Bhagavat pranitam comes out of the mouth of Bhagavan Krishna or Bhagavan Vishnu is dharma. These principles are clearly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Everything is created in summary form in Bhagavad Gita, and in detail, all principles are explained in Bhagavad Mahapurana. So the purpose of the Vedas is to establish such principles. Purpose of the Vedas is to establish such principles under the order of Supreme Lord. So the purpose of the Vedas is to establish religiosity under the order of the Supreme Lord. And the Lord directly orders at the end of the Gita that highest principle of the religion is to surrender unto him and nothing more, nothing more. So he teaches Arjuna successively about the soul and super soul and how to achieve bhakti, how to achieve the supreme destination, that is a spiritual word by Kuntaloka. And then he said, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam braja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma sucha. Because it's very intricate. Whatever he said, he described, Bhagavan Krishna described karma yoga. But then he said, Gana karmano gati, because it's very intricate to understand karma. He then concluded with bhakti in every chapter he mentioned. And at the end, in the 16th chapter, he said, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam braja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma sucha. Because whatever we do, it's too big. Many people say in Vedas it said this, it said that. And I heard that the Vedas are, it's like Parochvad. It's written in indirect form. Like Balanam agadam jatha. The verse says something like that. Balanam agadam jatha. So mothers keep laddu, the sweet, in one hand, and they give medicine to a child with the other hand. They say that if you eat this, if you take this medicine, I will give you sweet. So the Vedas are like that. Balanam agadam jatha. The way we give medicine to a child, we show them sweet, and we show them medicine. So we tell them that if you eat medicine, I will give you sweet. That's how the Vedas are written. That if you do this, like for example in Karma Kanda, it is mentioned that if you do this, you will get that. If you do that, you will get that. If you do this yagya, you will get rain. If you do this yagya, you will get a male child. Things like that. And but ultimately it is explained that the ultimate is to achieve Krishna prema, surrender unto Bhagavan Krishna. That's Bhagavan Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma sucha. So he said, I will save you from all the sins, because all we do is sin. Because if we try to go by rules and regulation, it is very difficult. Like we have been discussing all the effect of karma in these classes. The Vedic principles, but they are very difficult to understand and avoid all the sinful activities. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, Gahana karmano gati. The nature of karma is very dense. Gahana, it's not easy to understand. The Vedic principles push one towards complete surrender unto him. And the same is also repeated in Bhagavad Gita. And whenever such principles are disturbed by the demoniac, by the demons, the Lord appears to establish religiosity. From the Bhagavad Mahapurana, we understand that this is Prabhupada gives an example to prove that the statement by Bhagavan Krishna is true. So from Bhagavatam, we understand that Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Krishna who appeared when materialism was rampant and materialists were using the pretext of the authority of the Vedas to kill animal and eat meat. So they were killing animals and eating meat. Although there are certain restrictive rules, the regulations regarding animal sacrifice for particular purpose in the Vedas, people of demoniac tendency still took to animal sacrifice without reference to the Vedic principles. So it is mentioned in the Vedas to do some animal sacrifice for some higher purpose, but people started killing animals without any reference to the Vedas. Then Bhagavan Buddha came and he said, don't kill, don't even obey Veda. He says, it's okay not to obey Veda, but don't kill animals. So Lord Buddha appeared in order to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. Because there are 4 principles of any religion. So in Sanatana Dharma, it is described in detail. In Bhagavatam, it says, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna Jatra Dharma Chaturveda. So there are 4 religiosity: Dyutam, gambling; Pana, intoxication; Striya, illicit sex; and Suna, animal killing. So there are 4 pillars of any dharma. So Dyutam, the gambling destroys truthfulness. So there is one pillar of dharma is called truthfulness. The second a religion is pana, that intoxication. Intoxication destroys tapasya. The third one is striya, illicit sex. Illicit sex destroys cleanliness. And the fourth one is suna, animal slaughter. Animal slaughter destroys mercy, the non-violence here explained. So we have to be merciful, we have to be clean, we have to be tapasvi, and we have to be truthful. These are four pillars of dharma, and the non-violence is one of them. Therefore, in ISKCON, we follow these. We try not to do these 4 irreligious acts, and the reason behind that is to follow Vedic principles of religion. Therefore, each and every avatara or incarnation of the Lord has a particular mission. Like Lord Buddha stopped people from killing animals. And they are all described in the revealed scriptures. Like in Bhagavad Mahapurana and other scriptures, all the incarnations of the Lord Bhagavan Krishna is explained there. The explanation is there for more than 23, 24 avatars. And then in Bhagavad Mahapurana, and then Vyasji said that ete chance kala punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swami. He explains over 20 incarnations, but he said, don't forget, don't be confused who Krishna is. He said, ete chance kala punsa. These all incarnations are either Ansa. Ansa is part. Either they are part or Kala. Kala is like part of the part. Either they are part of Krishna or they are part of the part of Krishna. So ete chance Kala Punsa. Punsa means Vishnu, Krishna. But Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam means self. Krishna is self Bhagavan. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is avatari. Ete chance Kala Punsa. Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. All these incarnations are either Ansa or Kala. Ansa is part and Kala is part of the part. Either they are part of Krishna or part of the part of Krishna. But Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. So everything is explained in Prabhupada here, mentioned in revealed scripture. And based on that, modern Vaishnavas also explain, like Jayadev Goswami wrote Dasavatar Stotra. Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare. He starts with he wrote Dasavatar, 10 prominent avatars of Bhagavan Krishna. And he starts from the Matsya avatar. Kesavadrita mean Sarira, Jaya Jagadish Hare. So Kesava comes as a mean, as a mean incarnation, fish incarnation. Kesava is Krishna, Krishna comes as mean. Kesavadrita, then he comes as a Kesavadrita, Kurma Sarira, Kurma is Kachap, tortoise. Kesavadrita, then he comes Barah, as Barah, then he comes as a Baman, Nirsingh, then Baman, then Parasuram, then Ram, Kesavadhrita Narahari Rupa. So Krishna comes in every incarnation, either as his part or as his part of the part. No one should be accepted as an avatara unless he is referred by the scriptures. So the appearance of Lord Buddha is also explained in Bhagavatam. Appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already explained there. Appearance of future Krishna incarnation of the Kalki, in the form of Kalki, is also explained in Bhagavat Mahapurana. There is no one is going to come in the middle. So everything is explained in revealed scripture. It is not the fact that the Lord appears only in Indian soil. He can manifest himself anywhere and everywhere and wherever he desires to appear. Because everything is made by Krishna. Everything is energy of Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, he says that Bhumi Apo Analobayo Kangmano Buddhirevacha Ahankaram Itiyam me Bhinna Prakriti Ashtadha Itiyam te Bhinna Prakriti Ashtadha. That earth, water, fire, air, ether, all are my separated energy. So it's Krishna's energy, the soil, the air that we breathe, the sky, the empty space that we see, the fire that we use every day, the air that we breathe, the earth, water that we drink, earth, water, fire, air, sky. Not only these, he created also mind, intelligence, and false ego. So he is everything. He can appear from anything. In each and every incarnation, he speaks as much as religion as can be understood by particular people under that particular circumstances. So that's what Lord Buddha did. If they can't understand more than stopping animal killing, he spoke only that much. But the mission is the same, to lead the people to God consciousness and obedience to the principles of religion. So we have to obey those religions. We have to obey what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. That is the religion. Sometimes he descends personally, and sometimes he sends his bona fide representative in the form of his son or servant. Like all the bona fide representative, all the gurus, all the acharyas, himself in himself in some disguised form. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am the acharya. Acharya ma bijaniya. So we have to understand that acharya, a guru, a acharya who, like Prabhupada, is representative of Krishna. He says in 12th canto, Acharya mam bijaniya. Bijaniya means know. To know. We have to know that Acharya is form of Krishna. Is a representative of Krishna. Sorry, not form of Krishna, but a bona fide representative of Krishna. Himself, he can come himself in disguised form also. The principles of Bhagavad Gita were spoken to Arjuna and for that matter to the other highly elevated persons. So, because he was highly advanced compared to ordinary persons in other parts of the world. He was with Krishna, through Krishna, through Arjuna, Bhagavan Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita to us. He teaches us. He tells that come back. He said that come to Vaikuntha Loka. From coming, after coming to Vaikuntha Loka, we don't have to come back here in 15th chapter. He said that natat bhasayate surjo na sasanko na pavaka jad gatva na nivartante taddham paramam mama. He said that after coming to the spiritual world, you don't have to come back here in this miserable world. He said, Dukhalayam asasatam. This is a miserable place. Dukhalaya, place of misery and temporary. He said, Imam prapya bhajas sumam. If you come to this miserable place, worship me, bhaj me, chant my name. So, he makes us understand by means of preaching to Krishna, preaching to Arjuna, 2 + 2 = 4 is a mathematical principle, and that is true for beginners arithmetic class and also in advanced mathematics classes. So Prabhupada gives analogy. Still there are higher and lower mathematics. So in all incarnations of the Lord, therefore, the same principles are taught, but they appear to be higher and lower in varied circumstances. The principle is same. What is the principles? Abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijami. She comes to establish religion. The higher principles of religion begin with the acceptance of 4 orders and 4 statuses of the social life. We discuss this very often too. The 4 orders is 4 phases of one's life. So like we discussed, Brahmaji has 100 years. In one day of Brahma has 14 Manu. He lives so long because he is there in Brahmaloka. We are here on the earthly planet and in different millennium also. In different yuga, the age allocated to humans are different. In Satyuga, we were allocated 100,000 years. In Treta Yuga, we were allocated 10,000 years. So human life was 10,000 years long. In Dwapar Yuga, human life was 1,000 years long. In Kal Yuga, we have been given 100 years. That's it. So in 100 years, we have 4 phases of life. We have to be Brahmachari, then Grihastha, then Vanaprastha, and then Sannyas. That is 4 order. 4 order in anyone's life. So for 25 years, one has to be celibate and learn all the knowledge, all the Vedas. And from 25 to 50 years of age, we have to be in married life. From 50 to 75 is called Vanaprastha, that is understanding and preaching and going to pilgrimage. And the 4th one is the sannyasa, is detaching from everything because nothing belongs to us. But in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and in Vedas also said, in Kali Yuga, sannyas is prohibited because it's very difficult to maintain. That is 4 orders. brahmacharya, um, uh, grihastha, banaprastha, and sannyas. That is 4 orders of life, and then 4 uh, status of the social life. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnim Maya Sishta Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So Krishna created 4 status of social life. Laborer class is called Sudra, businessmen and farmers called Vaisya, army men and administrators are called Kshatriya, and intelligent people are called Brahmanas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Sudra. All over the world, you will find these 4 classes because this is created by Krishna. It's not based on the birth; it is based on their nature and the duty they perform. Krishna says, Chatur Varnim Maya Srishta Guna Karma Vibhagasa. Guna, what is his quality? What is his inherent nature? What is the inherent nature of a particular person? And then karma, what kind of duty he performs. So based on these 2, Krishna divided social life in four categories. So that's what Prabhupada is explained here. The higher principles of religion begin with the acceptance of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, as will be explained later in Bhagavad Gita. The whole purpose of the mission of incarnations is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. And that's what Krishna teaches in Gita, that I am your father, come to Vaikuntha. I am in everybody's heart. I created you. I created everyone. I am the Palan Karta. I am the Bhokta. Everything he said. Such consciousness is manifest and non-manifest only under different circumstances. So this is what Krishna said, and Prabhupada helped us understand so nicely. And I think we covered all part. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. And now I invite any comments or questions.
That was very nice, Alarnath Prabhu. This is such a common verse. I didn't think you could speak so long on it.
Yeah, Mataji. Everyone knows this verse.
Everyone knows the verse. You did a very good job.
Yeah.
But I have one question. You said that
Yes.
Krishna came to establish, higher principles of life, but it doesn't seem like the 4 varnas, and statuses of life are there currently in our current society. So really, something like that has not been established, right?
Yes. I mean, Prabhupada explains here, Mataji, that whatever is possible, he does. So he did establish the religion by killing all the demons and establishing the religion. So he said that because that's how he made, because once the Kali Yuga is going to be predominant, then people are gonna die, and then another millennium, the Satyuga will come. So he's going to ultimately establish in the form of, when he comes in the form of Kalki, then he's gonna kill everyone, clear the earth, and then the earth will enter in different yuga. Satya Yuga. So here Prabhupada mentioned that particular has a particular mission, and so he established particular mission. I mean, he made the word that way. That's why he said, "Dukhalem asasatum." So he's not going to make this place a spiritual word, because we have been taught, we have been introduced to Krishna, and that's why he created this material world for us to enjoy. But he is helping us realize, but the way we can realize is by giving us, if if uh, if Maya can torture us, we are not going to realize that we don't belong here. We are not part of this material world. We are not going to realize. So, so Krishna does, to the extent that uh, he want, like Prabhupada said, has a particular mission, in particular, like in the form of Buddha, Bhagavan Buddha, he told people not to kill animals, and they refer that in Vedas it is said. Then he said, don't obey Veda. So followers of Buddhas, they don't obey Vedas, but they don't, at that time, they stopped killing animals by hearing to Bhagavan Buddha. So in the same way, he established religiosity, but he can't do anything from, it's his plan, because until unless we deteriorate, we degrade, we are not going to realize that we don't belong here. Because see, when we are opulent, when we have comfort, we forget that we are not this body. Prabhupada was teaching we are not this body. And someone said that you teach this all the time, that you are not this body, you are not this body. And that's what we need to realize, but we don't realize. So until unless we have problems, chaos in the society, we get trouble, we get three kinds of trouble: daihik, daivik, bhautik. Otherwise, it will be Vaikuntha. If we don't have those three pains, it will be Vaikuntha. If it will be perfect Varanasrama dharma, then people will be happy. They will be, but according to the time, the way Krishna made this, it has to deteriorate. This is Kali Yuga. So all the system will nobody will obey this. Though this will be there, the four varnas and four ashramas, four varnas, the Brahman, Kshatriya, four status of the society is already there. We have to see, because there is a intelligent class, there are soldiers, there are administrators, those are Kshatriya. There are businessmen and farmers, those are Vaisyas. And there are laborers who are Sudra. So it's present there, but it's in deteriorated form. So I think that's what I can think, Mataji.
Yeah, that makes sense. And in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Sankirtana Yajna,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that is the
Yes.
only hope, yeah.
We can't do big yajna. Yeah.
Yeah. And even perfection of Varnashrama is very difficult to
Exactly. Yeah. And
uphold,
it is,
yeah.
yeah. And it is mentioned the sannyasa is also prohibited, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started this to preach, and my Mataji can, or Pyara Prabhu can explain more. I don't know much, but that's what I heard. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started by taking sannyas so that Vaishnava sannyasis can preach.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other comments or questions? So if not, we can end here, Prabhuji, right?
Yes.
Let's pay our obeisances to all Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Sindhudeva
patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Anantakoti Vaishnava
Koti
Vrinda
Vaishnava
ki jai.
Jai Srila
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada ki
ki
jai.
Jai. Alarnath Prabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna
Hare Bhakti
everyone.
ki jai.